Shalom. Shalom. All right, cool. All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Taza Doc coming back with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the hopefully elect. Before I do that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth and our truth, sincerity, and dealers. Shalom. Shalom to you too, brother. Shalom. All right, man. I wanted to get into this topic, man. About Revelations, the 20th chapter. Uh, Basically going into Hamashiach reigning for 1,000 years. The 1,000 year, these two different 1,000 year periods in that chapter, you have to be, Spirit of the Lord has to be dwelling with you to understand it, and you have to be taught. You can't just read it like a novel. You can't just read it, from verse 1 all the way down to the last verse. You're gonna get confused because you must be taught, this Bible. Okay, and the understanding has to be given to you by the Lord. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen. Right. Let's go entire screen. Here we go. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So I'm gonna speak on this real quick. This Revelations 20 and 30. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up and set a seal upon him, talking about the so-called white man, right? Because when you get into this, like I said, we're not necessarily going in on this 1,000 year period, but particularly if I even said that right in verse 4. But it says, and cast him into a bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. All right. So, this is going back into the time of the Byzantine Empire, man. But before the Byzantine Empire, you had, which was the pagan Roman Empire, which you had Edomites ruling. Okay. But after that, that beast who was wounded, right? That's going into what? The pagan Roman Empire. All right. And during, whenever the Western Front fell, you had the Byzantine Empire. All right. So let's just go to it. I'm gonna keep reading. It says, till 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Now, you have Christians that read this and think that, matter of fact, let me just keep reading. Verse 4, it says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi, and for the word of the Most High, in which not had worshipped the beast, nor his image, neither received his charagma upon their foreheads, nor in their hands, and lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So this is definitely talking about end time prophecy right here, right? But you got Christians that'll read this and think, and keep reading and think that Satan is gonna be, bound up, and loosed again, okay, after the reign of Hamashiach. It says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. All right. It says, blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. On such the second death had no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right. That's where the bug outness start. Okay. Because they think that in the after Hamashiach, which is Yahawashi reign. I mean, I don't understand why it's so toasty up in here, right? Let's see what's going on. All right, so they think after the reign of Hamashiach that Satan is gonna be loose again and back on the planet Earth, tormenting and creating all types of deceivableness and wickedness and whatnot. No, that is not what's happening here. Okay. You can't read Revelations 20 like a novel. All right. From verses 1 to 3 is a different time period. And from 7, I mean, after you read 3, you got to jump down to verse 7. Right. Because after you read 3, This is a whole different time period right here. This is what we're about to go into. Okay. This right here, verse 7, and when 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. We're at the end of this verse right here. All right, because when you look at, secular history, the Byzantine Empire was what, 1,000 years. Okay. You see, and after the Byzantine Empire, what you had, man, going into what? The Renaissance period. All right. Whenever what? Satan was loosed out of his prison and came back and what? Deceived the whole world, man. Okay. But what I'm going to get into is verse 4 through verse 6. It says, and I saw the thrones. I'm going to read it again. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi and for the word of the Most High, Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his charagma upon their foreheads. All right, so that's speaking definitely about the end time prophecy, man. All right, because the charagma, right, the MOTB is not introduced until what? The end time prophecy, man. All right, and so that goes to show you that these guys that's hollering about sin is the MOTB. Well, sin been around since the what? Since Genesis, brother. So that's how you know that these guys are bugging out. All right. But it says what? He saw he saw the souls of them that will be beheaded, man. All right, because you're gonna have men that's gonna what? Let's go to let's try Revelations 12. This is Revelations 12 and 11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And who is that they? That's the elect. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. You see, because what? You're going to have men of the Lord that's going to die for the word of the Lord. That's going to die. So like it's going to stand so stiffly for the name of the Lord, man. So they're not going to love their lives unto death, man. All right. They're going to give up their life for the Lord. What it says. This is damn. I spelled that wrong. This is Psalms 116 and 15. Precious in the sight of Yahweh is the death of his saints. All right. So you're gonna have men that's gonna what? Not love their lives unto death, and go all the way through with it, man. All right. You have examples of that in the Bible, right? So let's go back to Revelations. It says, all right, and which not worship the beast, neither the image, neither have received his charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Right. So I'm gonna touch on that 1,000 years when we get down to verse 6. It says, but the rest of the dead, well, I'm gonna just speak on it. All right. So the thing is that, once this devil is taken out of power, right? This devil is taken out of power, okay. And the Lord come through and deliver, his elect. All right, it's gonna be a kingdom. All right, a government set up on the earth ruled by Yahawashi. Okay. So, and people think that 1,000 years is talking about 1,000 years, and then then it's gonna be back to wickedness. Nah, not at all. Because really and truly, when you go to the commentary, let's go to this right here. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed from his prison. See, check this out. And this is how you know that, we the men of the Lord, man. All right, Lord willing, me and my brodies endure to the end. All right, because look what sometimes, and when it comes to history, scholars be, they be on point, but when it comes down to prophecy, they be totally wrong. Look, this is Revelations 20. Starting from verse 7, it says, many people will choose to follow Satan, though they will have lived on earth during the reign of Hamashiach. They will rebel against the rod of iron, the enforced righteousness that will characterize his reign. Negative. That is not true. All right. See, because what it says. This is this is this is Philippians. This is Philippians 2:10. It says, at the name of Yahawashi, every knee shall bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. You see? And that every tongue should confess that Yahawashi Hamashiach is Lord, to the glory of the Most High, the Father, Yahweh. You see? So ain't nobody's gonna be rebelling against Yahawashi, man. Okay, ain't nobody's gonna be rebelling because you know what? When you read Joshua, this is when the Lord was setting up authority with through Joshua after Moses. Look what he said. This is Joshua 1:18. Whosoever he be it that doeth rebel against thy commandment and will not hearken unto the words in all that thou hast commanded him, he should be put to death. Right? Only be strong and good and of a good courage. So if you think that's whenever Joshua was being set up. And if you think that our great king Yahweh Shah finna be allowing any wickedness within his kingdom, right? You delusional. You see, because there ain't gonna be none of that, man. After 1,000 years, then Satan is loosed again, and now he back tormenting planet Earth, and we're going back into slavery. Negative. You got life fucked up, Rose. Okay, it ain't gonna be none of that. All right, so because whoever is not serving the Lord, is gonna be put to death, man. Right? It ain't gonna be no rebellion that we're gonna come together and make a movement against the government that's set in place in Yahweh's kingdom. Negative, Ghost Rider. All right, let's go back. So back to Revelations 20. All right, so let's go. Verse 5, it says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. All right. It says, but the rest of the dead live not again. Are we talking about dead people here? No. All right. We're talking about what? Heathens, man. All right. And the scriptures to let you know that the heathens are likened unto the dead, man. Look, this is Baruch chapter 3, verse 10. It says, how happened it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land? All right. We're in the enemy's land. And who's our enemy? The other nations. All right. That thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down to the grave. Okay, because what? The heathens are likened unto the dead. Why? Because they don't have the understanding of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 24, oldie but goodie. That's not it. Proverbs 21. It says, a man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So when it's speaking about in Revelations 20 right here, when it says the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years are finished, that dead is talking about the other nations, because like the other nations, they're not like Esau is the only nation on the planet Earth that has not promised any mercy from the Lord. Okay, so in order to get understanding on verse 5, we have to go to Daniel's the 7th chapter. And we're gonna get around to it. We're gonna put it all together. So let's go to Daniel's the 7th chapter. This is Daniel 7 and all right. So this is when you read Daniel's 7th chapter, it goes into what? The four beasts, man, four kingdoms and whatnot, right? So let's and we have videos on that. Okay. So look, this is Daniel's 7 and I'm gonna start at 10. It says, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000s stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were open, right? It says, I beheld then because of a voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even to the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given into a burning flame. This is the fall of what, man? Esau, Edom. All right. Okay. It says this body destroyed and given to a burning flame, which ultimately what's going to happen is that America is going to be taken down by thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay. It says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. So the kings of the earth, all these other nations that has waxed rich and, gotten abundancy through the backs of the nation of Israel, who's reigned in the planet earth, Moab, Elam, Ham, Ammon, all you fuck niggas, look what it say. They had their dominion taken away. Now let's just read this in the NIV. It says the other beasts had been stripped from their authority, but were allowed to live for a period of time. All right. So the other beasts were the other nations, the other kings of the earth, right? They had their authority, ripped away from them. Why? Because, damn, come on, bro. Had their authority ripped away from them. Okay. Because of what, man? Yahawashi's kingdom is being established here. All right. It says, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. So what? When you go back to Revelations 20th chapter, when it says the rest of the dead, the heathens, live not again until the 1,000 year were finished. So within that 1,000 year period of time, what the heathens, these other kings, the kings of the earth, their authority has been ripped from them. Not saying that they're going to get their authority back. It says that they live not again until the 1,000 years were finished, meaning that, in this 1,000 year period, they're going to be doing what? Building up our kingdom, taking orders, right? Doing whatever they are told to do. All right. Understanding their role, being put in subjection. All right. Like I said, building up our kingdom, being, getting established what their what their employment is going to be for the rest of their lives. Okay. It says they live not again. So whenever that's basically going into, they're going to be able to go off into their own, they look, they lands and whatnot, where they had to do business and commerce and live freely. See, what's going to happen is that people think that whenever our kingdom is just going to be in, just straight up, just, blood and guts and, killing and all over the place. Nah, man, it's going to be order. It's gonna be a beautiful order on the planet Earth with the heathens in subjection, man. That's when they're gonna live again, when they in total subjection and our kingdom is built up. Okay, so for a full 1,000 years, a full day, they're gonna be what? Building up our kingdom, man. Okay, you see. It says, but the rest of the dead live not their lives again until the 1,000 years were finished. All right. So after 1,000 years of full day, they're going to go back to their lands. They're going to, do business and commerce. They're going to have babies, right? They're going to raise sons and daughters to be what? Slaves, to be subject unto who, man? The Israelites, man. Okay. It says, this is the first resurrection. All right. You see? Because the first resurrection going into what, man? Us being delivered out of here, man. Okay. Because look, when you read verse 6, it says, blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. All right. Salakia. Oh, Lord. Okay. So it says, blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. So okay, so what was the first death? The first death was when what? The Lord flooded this mug with water. Okay, that was the first death. The second death is going to be by what? Thermonuclear missiles, fire. Okay. So what? The first resurrection going into what? The church of the firstborn. Okay. Let's go to it, because the church of the firstborn is who got is whom is gonna escape second death, right? You got the elect, and you got to right along with the 1/3. This is Hebrews 12:18. It says, "For ye are not come to the mount that might be touched, and that burnt with fire, nor unto blackness and darkness and tempest." All right. Talking about, the time of Moses, and the sound of a trumpet and the voice of words, which voice they heard entreated that the word should not be spoken to them anymore. For they could not endure that which was commanded. And if so much as a beast touch the mountain, it shall be stoned or thrust through with the dart. And so terrible was the sight that Moses said, I exceedingly fear and quake. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living power, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which were written in heaven, and to the power, the judge of all, and to the Most High, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. All right, and to Yahawashi, the mediator of the new covenant. So, hey man, when the church of the firstborn is together, right? You see, right? When we're called to what? To the Most High, the judge of all right? That new heavenly Jerusalem, all right? That's whenever what? The new covenant is going to be established. Just saying. And to the blood of sprinkling that speaketh better things than of Abel. Okay? So going back to Revelation, Salaki. Going back to Revelations, it says what? This is the first resurrection, right? Verse 6, it says, blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So look, you got to ask yourself. So you telling me that Yahawashi, the man who died, right, and was it was slew and hung on the cross, right? You telling me that he's only going to reign for 1,000 years, and then after that, his kingdom is going to be over? Negative. That doesn't line up with the scriptures. I'll show you. Let's check it out. Let's first go to. Matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 20. No, 20. 23 and 5. Right. This says, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise up unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice on the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord of our righteousness. Okay. So is that his name? No, his name is Yahawashi. Okay. Yahawashi. You see? However, all right, so what, man? Does the Lord's kingdom going to be established forever? Get to it. This is Daniel's 7:13. It says, and I saw in the night's vision, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man came with clouds of heaven, his chariots, and came into the Ancient of Days, the Father, right? So that goes to show you that is the Father and the Son are not the same people. And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion. Yahawashi getting his kingdom, right? And languages should serve his kingdom, that all people, nations, languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. So what does that see? You see what I'm saying? That's why you have to be taught these scriptures. Reading it like a novel, you would think that, hey, well, whenever Hamashiach rule, then it's only going to be for 1,000 years. Negative. It says that his kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom. Okay. Let's check it out. Uh, let's go to Luke 1, and 31, it says, "And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth the son, and shall call his name Yahawashi. He shall be great, and, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord, the Most High, shall give him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever. And his kingdom there shall be no end." Okay, right? It shall be no end. Let's go back to that Daniel. I just thought of that. Daniel 7 and 18. It says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and even forever and ever." So that 1,000-year period, man, that's just going into the point that where you heathens are going to be building up the kingdom, man. You heathens are going to be understanding, what's your place, what's your occupation and things like that, man. Where you're going to be set up at and how you're going to be, doing business and commerce within what? A righteous kingdom. Okay. Does that mean that the kingdom is only going to last for 1,000 years? No, we're reading it that it's going to be what? A world without end, man. Okay. That's what we're reading right now. You see? I want to go to Daniel's the second chapter, because basically if you feeling like, if you thinking that Satan's going to be loosed after 1,000-year period, then when you read about the king's dream, right? It don't speak about a kingdom coming after the 10 toes, man. Okay? Because 45 will tell you right here. It says, "For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountains without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron and the brass, the clay and the silver and the gold, the great power had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain at the interpretation thereof." All right, so it don't speaks about a kingdom after the 10 toes, man. That's mixed with miry clay. You don't speak about that, right? It speaks about what? Yahawashi coming that stone, right? To what? To smite the foot, man. All right. And when you go, where is it? When you read verse 44, all right. So like I should have read verse 44. It says, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to another people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever." So Yahweh's kingdom is going to stand forever. It's not going to be 1,000 years, and then Satan's going to come back and torment and spread wickedness and deceive, man. You know, all you so-called white people thinking that you just you're going to come back in a power, or you're still going to be having freedom and liberty and all that jazz and all that bullshit that you think. Negative, man. It's a kingdom to come, and it's going to be governed by what? The nation of Israel, starting with Yahawashi, man. Okay, because it says that we're going to reign with Hamashiach for 1,000 years, man. Right? So that means we're just going to reign with Hamashiach just for 1,000 years? Negative. This is forever. The saints shall take the kingdom forever. All right, because when you go to let's go to Matthew 19 and 27, it says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have? And Yahawashi said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see what I'm saying? So we gonna be reigning with Yahawashi, and the scripture says we're gonna take the kingdom forever. We are a world without end, man. You see? So that 1,000-year period is, these other nations, being governed by the rod of iron. You know, let me tell you like this: you're gonna have some rebellion. You're gonna have some rebellion, but you're gonna be put down. It doesn't mean that, you're gonna have rebellion. There's gonna be an overthrow in the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven on the planet Earth. No, you're gonna have some rebellion, but you're gonna be put down. All right, you're gonna be aired out. All right, look. Uh, what is it? Which one I want? How about this? We can go to Revelations 12. Oh, I like Revelations 2. This is Revelations 2 and 27. Uh, how about this? Read it in red. I'm gonna start at 25. It says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Yahawashi speaking. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shiver, even as I received from my Father. Right? So we're gonna rule the nations with a rod of iron, man. All right. Total subjection. Okay. This is Revelations 12 and 5. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto the Most High, unto his throne. Who's that talking about? Yahawashi. He's gonna rule with the rod of iron forever. Inside joke. Forever. You know? Revelations 11 and 15. It says, and the seven angels sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. So it ain't gonna be just 1,000 years that, it ain't gonna just be 1,000 years, that Hamashiach gonna reign, man. All right. It's gonna be 1,000 years of getting things lined up for the everlasting kingdom. All right, if you will. You see? So there ain't gonna be nobody overthrowing the kingdom of Yasha Allah, man, at all. All right. So Yahawashi, it's not that he just reigned for 1,000 years. No, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a lot of subjection in that 1,000 years. It's gonna be a lot of setting things right, setting things in order, cleaning up America. Oh, not America, Salaki. That's a slip of the tongue. Cleaning up the earth, because the earth is gonna be refreshed. Can't believe I said that shit. So man, basically that's all I had on that, man. Lord willing, you were edified. I'm gonna say shalom.